Ryan Haynes. I appreciate the opportunity to meet with you today.
Thank you, thank you. Sit down, make yourself comfortable. Why don't you start out by telling me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm currently attending St. Xavier University. I anticipate on graduating in May of 2013. Ever since I was little, I just always had an interest in computers. I was the person people would come to if they had a problem, if they needed to troubleshoot the computer. I was always there to help them with that. And since attending St. Xavier University, I have been able to increase my skills and my knowledge. St. Xavier is a relatively small school, a couple thousand students, but because of that, I feel that I have been able to gain knowledge from the professors one-on-one since the classes were so small. 5 of the professors actually have PhDs, so I was able to get very good knowledge from them. We have our own computer lab. We're able to download software, use different kinds of software. And I'm just very hardworking, very friendly, and I get along with everybody. I never had a problem with coworkers or classmates.
That sounds pretty good. Looks like you got pretty good grades in school. Is it really easy for you to get good grades, or did you have to study a lot?
The computer studies field was a little challenging, but I found a way to make it work. I would create some kind of schedule to help me finish the tasks I needed to do on time. So that really improved my ability to get A's and B's and maintain my 3.7 GPA.
Very, very good. Now, you had a little bit of experience. You've worked 2 places, nothing before that?
No.
Okay. Would these places supply references for you?
They would.
They would. And what would they say?
They'd say I'm hardworking. I'm very loyal, and I'm just a very friendly person. I get along with everybody. I think that's what they would say the most.
Okay. So you said you like this field. You've been doing it since you were a little kid. What made you pick it? Just because it was there? Or did you have some reason you thought it was a good field?
Well, I know computers are becoming the main source of jobs today, and computers, I've just been interested in them, so I thought, why not?
Okay. Do you think there's any drawback to the computer field?
I really don't think there's a big drawback. The only thing would be maybe no physical activity.
Oh, okay. What about retraining and all of that? You don't see that as a drawback?
Retraining? I think everyone needs some training to boost their skills even further.
Okay. I was thinking about keeping up.
Keeping up?
In 3 to 5 years, you know, we will have new software again.
I'm always able to keep up with the new technology just by either researching on my own, learning from others, reading books.
What do you consider yourself really good at doing? Where do you think you would fit in with us?
I think the technical aspect, maybe managing databases. I seem to have a great skill in that, normalizing databases, just creating a database and using it to help the company.
What do you think your best qualities are if you were doing work like that?
My best qualities would be I'm very consistent. I always get things done on time. I always try to keep a positive attitude. I'm stressed out. I've read multiple books on stress management, and I tend to do my best work when I'm under stress, actually. I think there's good stress and there's bad stress. Good stress would be, for me, meeting a deadline. I tend to be more productive. But if it's more of a personal issue, then I know multiple breathing techniques that could help me relieve myself.
Okay. Do you consider having to work overtime stressful?
I do not.
Okay.
I would welcome it.
Do you have any problem working weekends or holidays for us?
Not at all.
Alrighty. So your strength is this ability to organize and do things on time. What type of weaknesses do you have?
think my weakness would be my public speaking skills, not public speaking in front of strangers. But I don't think this would be a concern in this environment because I get along with my coworkers. I would get to know them very well, and I think I would be more comfortable talking in front of them as I got to know them. I'm also good with one-on-one interaction.
Okay. Do you like to work in groups or do you like to work alone?
I would prefer to work in groups. Like I said, I'm a people person. I get along with everyone. I think I do my best work when everyone's bouncing ideas off each other and everyone's able to make improvements on our ideas. But I'm more than capable to work alone as well.
What if you're working in a group? What if you find out one of the people really does not like you?
If somebody really doesn't like me, I would have to confront them. I'd have to figure out why. Maybe I could change something. Maybe find a common interest that we both have. And I feel confident that by the end of it, they would have a different outlook on me.
Okay. Well, you had very high grades, but was there anything in school that you didn't like?
Grade-wise, class-wise, or?
Yeah.
Well, history and religious studies usually gave me trouble. I think it's just I didn't have motivation to actually try and get a better grade. It just wasn't interesting to me. But when it comes to the computer field, they interest me, and I'm able to interact with them more and maintain my 3.7 GPA.
How do you motivate yourself then? What if you hit a patch of work that is not particularly exciting or interesting?
Well, I get motivated by, I want to satisfy my employer, and I also want to satisfy my own goals, so that also motivates me. Also, it motivates me to perform well, where I'm able to actually move up in the company.
Okay. How do you go about organizing yourself for a job?
I like to create some sort of schedule, maybe a list of goals for that day, maybe a list of goals for the week, or even the year.
Okay. So you create goals. Now, how do you divide those up and follow up on them?
I like to set a deadline for each. So maybe one goal I would have for that day, but another goal I would have for that week, and I would try to finish that goal within the time period.
Okay. Can you describe to me the ideal boss?
The ideal boss would be somebody who is respected. I'm able to come to them if I have some sort of problem I need help with. Somebody who's going to give me ideas as well as I'm able to give them ideas. And they implement ideas from other employees. They just don't go about their own thing. They want help as well as, yeah, they just want help.
What will you do if indeed you don't get a very good boss?
If I don't get a very good boss, I would find a way to deal with it. Either maybe send him an email, talk to him one-on-one, see if there's something we could work out.
Okay. So you've only worked 2 jobs and you're just about to graduate from college. How did you fill up the rest of your time?
Just class. There was multiple hands-on things we could use, such as different sorts of software. For database, we had MySQL and Workbench. We were able to work with databases and creating them and normalizing them. Also some programming. I worked with Visual Basic, HTML, PHP.
Okay. You like the hands-on portion better than the classroom portion of your courses?
I do. I think the hands-on portion gives you more experience. It gives you better skills than just listening.
Okay, so we talked about what the ideal boss was like. You want someone that's respected and communicates with you. What do you think an ideal work environment is for you? What's going to make you the most productive?
The ideal work environment for me would be getting along with my coworkers. If they have the same goals as me, the same ambitions, they want to get the job done. I think that would be the ideal work environment, and the opposite would be if they weren't as motivated as me, I guess you could say. I think I work better if everyone else has the same outlook. They want to get the job done, they want to do it good. I think that's the ideal work environment.
Okay. What would be a very bad work environment for you?
Bad work environment would just be the opposite. Coworkers not getting along, not having the same outlook, not having goals to finish, they just kind of slack off. Also the manager, the same thing, not being able to, he's not respected, you're not able to go to him to give him ideas. I think that'd be the worst work environment.
Okay. So you've got an idea about your ideal manager, about your ideal work environment. What if we couldn't meet any of that but wanted to start you and let you work your way into that over time? Is that still acceptable to you?
That would be acceptable. I think I could find a way to make it work.
Okay. What kind of decisions do you find difficult?
I think the most difficult decision I would have to make would be if I did have a manager that wasn't respected and didn't really care about his employees. I think the most difficult decision would be how to go about it, either one-on-one or maybe send him an email. But in the end, I would definitely find a way to overcome it.
Okay.
I'm just curious about the kind of software you guys use.
We're in the middle of some changeovers, probably to an enterprise-wide system like SAS or PeopleSoft. Would you have any problem having to go back to training almost immediately if we hired you?
I could find a way to hone my skills and to gain knowledge on whichever systems you're using, any software.
We usually have some formal training for you when you start.
That'd be perfect.
Okay. How do you get the best out of your co-workers? What do you do to really get them to work the way you want them to work?
I just try to have them respect me. I feel if they respect you and you're friendly with them, that they're going to do the best job that they can around you. If they don't respect you and they think you're some kind of joke, I guess, you're not gonna get the most out of them as if they respected you.
Okay. Now, you said earlier you wanted to work your way up. Do you think you would make a good manager?
I do have the skills to be a good manager, but I do feel I would need some formal training in the management skills.
What are the skills that you have then that you think would make you a good manager?
I have good leadership skills. I'm confident. I'm friendly to work with. People would respect me. They would get the job done.
Okay. I can see you're confident. I can see you're friendly. Can you give me some example of a leadership skill?
A leadership skill that I would have, I would say, would just being confident and being able to control others in a professional manner, telling them some kind of deadline, and being able to get that project, whatever project we're looking at done.
Okay. What do you look forward to most in leaving school, graduating, and starting on the job?
I look forward to starting a successful career, being able to have a consistent schedule, being able to start new relationships with my coworkers is a big thing for me, as well as my manager.
Okay. Now, you have had 2 jobs. Are they going to say that you're on time?
They would,
Trustworthy?
yes.
You never have any social obligations which make you late or asking time off work?
Never.
Nothing?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you plan on keeping that just that way when you start work?
I do plan on it.
Okay. What do you think makes you the person we should hire?
I mean, you should hire me because I'm confident in my abilities. I have a wide variety of skills. I know I'll get the job done. I feel some people doubt themselves, and when you doubt yourself, you're never gonna really accomplish what you want. But with me, I know I'm gonna be able to get the job done.
Okay. Do you have any obligations right now which would affect your work?
I don't.
Nothing? No living situation? No family obligations?
No.
No. Okay. Would you mind traveling for the job?
I wouldn't mind if that was necessary.
Okay. So you said you wanted a little bit of training to be a good manager. Do you think you'd want to go through a whole MBA, Masters of Business Administration, or do you think that you would just like to take some in-house corporate training?
If it was necessary to take a whole MBA, I would, but I would prefer to have in-house training.
Okay. So what type of activities and interests do you have outside of work? You can't work all the time.
Well, I just like to relax, enjoy my time, my social life with family, with friends, just go out with them when I'm not busy with any work that I have to have finished.
Okay. What do you think today about your education? Do you think it really has made you ready to start work?
I do believe it has. I've had a lot of hands-on experience inside the classroom, and also one-on-one experience with my professors. I feel it has made me ready to start as soon as I can right now.
All right. Have you put a lot of applications out so far?
So far I haven't. I do hope to in the future though.
Have you done any interviews yet?
I have applied for jobs, but I'm still waiting on a call to see if they'll interview me.
Okay. Do you have some questions that you would like to ask during this interview?
I'm just wondering what kind of workday would be the average workday for an employee to start right off.
We're pretty disciplined. You do have to be here by 8. We work a full 8 hours. You'll get a lunch break. We say you get 15-minute rest breaks, but that's up to you to figure out when you're going to do that. We don't break people or have a rigid calendar. And you would learn a little bit more about the day-to-day when you finally are selected for a position. There'll be a job description you'll get to read over. You'll get to talk with the direct supervisor to make sure you understand the job description. And the first few weeks, you'll be allowed to ask quite a few questions and check in with the co-workers and your boss. Now, do you mind being on probation for the first 6 months?
I don't mind at all.
I do need to warn you, our probationary policy is that you can be terminated at any time in the first 6 months.
That works for me.
All right, sounds good.
Would you like a list of my references?
Oh, yes, I would. Yeah, this is pretty good. You've got 3 references. They're all from the same place. Now, let me see. You also worked, you did work at St. Xavier, the school that you went to quite a bit, but you also worked as a warehouse employee. Would anybody from there give you a reference?
I've lost contact with them at the moment. There is a chance I would be able to go back and get a reference it was needed.
Okay, we might. Sometimes we have background checks.
All right, that would work.
Okay. You don't mind a background check for criminal history or financial?
Not at all.
Okay, good. You may have to sign off on that. If we call you back for a second interview, you'll need a drug test?
That's fine with me.
Okay, good. We try to tell people in the first interview so they can opt out if they don't want to return for that. Okay. Well, I think we've learned quite a bit about you. It was interesting to talk to you. We have your references and your resume ready. So I think that would conclude everything we need to do.
May I have a business card?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
All right.